Hello, hello, hello. Girl Friday Jennifer, and it is a beautiful Saturday. A beautiful Saturday here in, well, I'm in Gwinnett, but I'm on my way to Atlanta. It looks like I'm sitting on a little hole. That's the thing about my little phone. Wait a minute. Is that a little better? Anyway, look. Girl Friday Jennifer. Yeah. I hope that you are having a wonderful day so far, and I hope that you have a beautiful weekend. If I have anything to do with my weekend, which I have a little something to do with it, I'm going to try to make sure it continues to be bright. Listen, I want to talk to you today. I get a little lonely in this car sometimes, you know, alone with my thoughts, but not so lonely that I'm willing to do anything for company. Why am I bringing that up? I want to ask you something. Does it seem like people that you meet to do business with in particular lacking something that some good characteristic traits like integrity, honesty? Those two basic things, integrity and honesty, people lack in my dealings, I want to say, some of the people I'm meeting are lacking just those simple characteristic traits. You don't have to have a lot when you're dealing with business, because you got business to business transaction, but you're going to have at least those, right? I would think. Anyway, so let me get to the point. All right. So I don't know if, let me just say about this person that I met while I was doing DoorDash. I was doing a DoorDash drive order, and I met this guy. He's a caterer, and he also, what does he do? He's a caterer, and he also, like DoorDash, have people come pick up his food and deliver it to restaurants and things of that sort. And he also does catering, where he stays and serves the food. All right. And he said, all right, would you like to do some business outside of DoorDash? And I explained to him that DoorDash is just a vehicle. It's just a stream of revenue. It's not my only stream of revenue, and I'm not committed to it. I am a contractor. Not that I'm not committed to it. I'm not bound to do just work for them or anyone else, any other kind of contract work, basically is what I'm saying. So the sun went down a little bit. So I don't like wearing shades. I'm like one of those people that don't like to wear shades. Anyway, so he and I decided to agree to do some business together. So I'll reference that video when I initially met him, and I was excited about meeting him. I was excited to do some business with him. And so fast forward ahead. That was late 2018. Late meaning I think in December. It wasn't December. So now is what, February 2019? No, it's March 2nd, 2019. So since late December to now early March, I have done about 8 different deliveries for him, which consists of just picking up, delivering foods to different businesses. Yeah, businesses for lunch, their lunch or whatever. Same thing I do with DoorDash. But I also done a catering gig with him where we went to one of those businesses that he delivered food to, and I was available to serve if they need. They did self-serving, but I was available to serve for them if they needed that, if he needed that. All right. And he also do meals, for lack of better terms, I'm gonna call it Meals on Wheels, where you have these families that you deliver meals, in his case healthy meals to. So he has a route, like these set up these certain people. Anyway, so when he and I agreed to do business together, I gave him a rate. A set rate. Well, in this terms, from short distance, 1 to 5, I gave him that rate. From 1 to 5 miles, and from 5 to 10 miles, that rate. And then anything after 10 miles, each additional 5 miles was XYZ. So that's what he and I discussed, and we agreed on it. Okay. So everything went fine when it came to the regular deliveries, you know, pick up, deliver to one restaurant. No, I'm sorry, pick up, deliver to one customer, you know, whatever. And he had like 1 or 2 a week. That's why it was only 8, which is fine because I'm doing other things. This is not just what I do. This is just, you know, a way of leveraging. All right. So I want to say around the 8th, around the, because I've done 8 for him. I want to say around the 5th delivery is when the problem came in. So let me back up a little bit. So then he wanted me to do these batch orders. Batch meaning I go and I pick up, say 3 deliveries to go to 3 different locations at the same time. I pick it up at the same time and I take it to these 3 different destinations for what we're going to call, like I said, for lack of better terms, the Meal on Wheels. Fine. When I get there the first time to pick up these orders, why my car sound so funny? Because I'm in a little bucket. But when I get there the first time, it kind of shocked me because I went from the location. I get to 3 locations I'm going to. One was in Smyrna, 2 was in Atlanta. That's fine. Smyrna, which is outside of what I said I would do, but I agreed to go ahead and do it because of the mileage. Remember, we just went over the rates, whatever. I gave him the I was a little taken aback because I was thinking if you needed me to go all the way to Smyrna, when you hit me up the day before and to check if I was going to be available, it looked like you would give me a heads up and tell me that this was going to be far outside of the perimeter. Are you still available to do it before I got to your location to put the items up? So you're not being communicative with me. That's a little aggravating, but okay. All right, I've done that. Okay. And if I had a problem, like if it was a real problem where I didn't want to work with you anymore, I would address that at that time and I expect you to do the same. Okay. So we got over that. I delivered because I am a person to do the things that I said I would do even after the move in which I said it in, right? So I delivered the food, no problem, to these families. The second time I went to pick up an order, now these 3 locations are one is in Atlanta, west end of Atlanta area. The other is in Fairburn, Georgia. You understand? Fairburn, Fairburn, Georgia, which is 30 miles from his location. And then the other one is in Atlanta. I said it like that because it's strategically I would go from his location to the one in West Atlanta, then to Fairburn, then back to the one in Atlanta because I live in Gwinnett. It just wouldn't make sense to go other way outside of that because I still have to come back to Gwinnett and, you know, anyway. So he said, oh, to be honest with you, I didn't even know it was that far because I would have charged them the long distance rate. Oh, really? Whatever. Well, let me remind you of the kind of car I drive and the kind of stats my car has. So it's still profitable. It's still lucrative to me to drive this, but you being sneaky. Or you think you're getting away with something. You're not getting away with anything because I stood aside. I can leave that shit right there. I don't want to say it like that, but that's how I mean it. I mean it just like that. I got the order. I took it there. So what happens after I do these batch orders or even the onesies, I send him a invoice with my bill. He's been paying that. Well, actually, the second one, he delayed payment. He said he was going to pay me on a Friday, and then that Friday went to the next Friday. And I said, listen, if you're not going to pay me when you say you're going to pay me, you need to come back and tell me why and when do you expect to pay me, and not just think that it's okay that if I'm not in the loop, it's a problem. You need to be more upfront with me. Okay, supposedly we got over that. Okay, Jennifer, I understand. See, my thing is, if I say I'm going to do something, I show up on time, I deliver on time, I need you to do the same thing when it comes to my money. Don't play with my money. So we got over that. I sent him the invoice for the first batch. He paid me, no problem. I charged him. What I did, I charged him. Okay, we got one pickup location, right? I went to the first location, and then from the mileage from that location to the next location, there was a charge, and then from that drop off to the next location, there was a charge. He paid it. Second time, same thing, paid it. When it came to the third time you called me to go to the same location from Atlanta to Fairburn back to Atlanta, Then, keep in mind, if you're following me, I told you the 5th time, that was okay. It was just all the way out in Smyrna. Took me by surprise. Second, you still paid the rate. The second time I get there, it's order in Fairburn into in Atlanta, but you paid the invoice. The third time I get there, it's the Atlanta, then Fairburn, and then back to Atlanta. Here's when the problem comes. I don't know if your money is funny or what. I don't care, because this is a business-to-business relationship. So, meaning you have a business, I have a business. You have a job, I am the person contracted to do that job. I did the job, I expect to be paid for it. Simple, right? So, I send the invoice. He waits. Okay, so he's to pay me that Friday, right? So Wednesday rolled by. He sends me an email. Jennifer, are you charging me? Now, I haven't changed the way I charge. In fact, this invoice is basically a duplicate of the invoice I sent you the week prior, because these are the same 3 locations. By now, the people pretty much have gotten used to me. Hey, Jennifer, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. So, his question is, so what, you're not looking at the ones before? So, he said, are you charging me to get to my location? Like, no, that's silly. Why would I do that? I said, the way that I charge is, and then I explained to him as I just explained to you. Then he comes back and he says to me, that's not the normal way the food delivery works. The way the food, he's telling me now. Now, first of all, what does that have to do with anything? If I charge a certain way, this is the way I charge. And if you didn't like that, or you didn't agree to pay that way, look like you would have came to me the first time I charged this way. This is a batch order that we're talking about. You would have came to me then and said something about it, but you didn't. And we could have had a discussion about it, and the other 2 orders may or may not have happened. Now, again, we're gonna come. We did a full circle. Now we're gonna come back to my car stats. I could still do this, and it's been lucrative, but that's not the point. So, what you want to do is short me like $20, basically. That's what it pretty much rounds up to be, without you knowing, without me discussing to you what the figures are that he and I discussed. It's about 20. No, wait. Yeah, it's about $20 short of what, if he would have, anyway, let me get back to it. So he said, no, what they normally do is from the one pickup location, that's the mileage for each one, meaning we got the set pickup location where I picked up the 3 orders, and the mileage are calculated from that one, from point A to point B, back to point A, keeping the point A, not driving back to point A, just point A to A, B, C, and A, B, and C. Meaning the mileage is like if he's in this area, which would happen to be Sandy Springs. If you're in this area, the mileage from Sandy Springs to Atlanta, the mileage from Sandy Springs to Fairburn, the mileage from Sandy Springs to the other location in Atlanta. But that doesn't make sense, because listen, I'm driving all the way from Sandy Springs to these places, and you all of a sudden on the 3rd batch you want to decide you're not going to pay me that way. So you know what I said to him? I said, you know what, if that's how you want to pay it, if that's how you doing the figures, that's fine. I didn't even go back to, you've been paying me this way the whole time, have you not been paying attention? We could have had a conversation about it, and you and I could have made we could have made an informed decision whether I wanted to continue to do business with you or not. But you come to me 2 days before payday because it's Wednesday, and then say this, which I'm expecting that. Okay, I'll allow him to pay me that way. Okay, but in my mind I'm thinking, and I'm sure he's thinking the same, well, something similar, whether he's trying to decide if he want to continue to do business with me, because now you know that your reputation with me has been flawed now, because now you don't came back, and I'm not going to argue with you. You don't came back and you don't done a 360, right? Me, the person that we've had a relationship, meaning all these orders I've done with you, I've never been late. The people, the customers, I'm a likable person. They like me. I'm reliable. So you kind of ruined this business relationship that you and I have had over these last couple of deliveries. So you're trying to decide, well, am I going to use her again? And I know I'm saying, if you come back to me and you want me to go to Fairburn, either we're going to have to renegotiate the rates, or you're just going to have to find somebody else to deliver it yourself. I don't care, because I'm back where I was, meaning I'm doing the same thing I was doing before I met you, which I continue to do while I met you. I'm just saying. And you're back where you were, where you're not really losing anything. You still have the way to continue doing business the way that you were. You were my leverage, I was your leverage. Can we use each other or not? But we're not going to be going, we're going to have an understanding, and I'm either going to go up with my rate or you're going to pay me like you were paying me before. It's not going to be what you've done on this last delivery. So I was doing those deliveries for him on a set day. So that day came and went. He didn't call. I mean, he didn't send me a message. Normally he'd send a text the day before or the day early in that day of, and see if I'm available later on that day. So he didn't do that, which is fine, because I have several ways of making money, like I'm sure you do as well. So I keep my options open, and I keep my stats with all my options open good. Even with him, my stats with him are good. We didn't bump heads. It's just that we realized we weren't on the same page. Well, I was on the same page. You just came back and flipped the page. So, but here's what happened. The next day he contacted me. He said, Jennifer, are you available to do some deliveries? This via text. So I responded with, listen, if it's inside the perimeter, I'm available. If it's outside the perimeter, not so much. That means kick rocks. He knows what that means. So then he sent me a message back, and it says, duly noted. Duly noted. I haven't heard from him since. Look, people, my thing is, don't play with me and don't play with my money. I try to keep myself in a position where I don't have to depend on one source of income. You are not going to control how I make my money. And you're certainly not going to treat me one way. Flip the script, and I still go along with it, because I'm not desperate. I'm not desperate. I am not desperate. You understand? All right. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm in the area that I need to be in to make some money doing Uber Eats today. It's an Uber Eats day. Then I'm hanging out with DJ. Today, we're going out. We're going to play. We're going to, where we going? Dave and Buster. All right. You have a wonderful Saturday. Be safe out there.